Hey guys, what's up? This is the other half of 1993, and contrary to what you might believe, I'm not dead. I know, I'm surprised too. No, it's just that I took about a 2 week hiatus from Yu-Gi-Oh! Way back in November when I said I was. And in that time, I just fell out of the habit of making YouTube videos. Now, I have 3 videos to post, for now, today, and then later today, um, I might. Oh, actually, I'm probably gonna go ahead and show you what I got for my Power Force sneak preview. Um, I don't know about after that. If I'll keep making putting up duels. I can tell you right now, there's a good chance I won't be going filming matches in my locals anymore, just because that was so much of a hassle to do. I don't know. I guess there is a small chance I could do that again sometime, but honestly, don't get your hopes up. But I'm here today to talk about a little deck that my friend Mac and I have kind of made, called Buoy base, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's based off of the Gen X monsters from the Duel Terminal, so it can be very hard to make this deck. But yeah, our team, between all four of us, there's more than 4 of us on the team, but 4 of us have used our locals dual terminals, and between all of us, we've dropped probably about $160 in, so hence we have 160 dual terminal cards. And we've just been able to build this deck, and I initially built this as a fun deck, but it has turned out to actually be very competitive. I've only thoroughly playtested multiple times. I think I've played this about 10 times against X Sabers post Absolute Power Force, but and this deck won about 70% of the time. I think the only other matches I've played I've played 2 matches against Absolute Zero, and I won one and lost the other. So this deck, in my opinion, has a lot of promise, and I'll just go ahead and show you. As far as the name Buoy base goes, it's got that name for 3 reasons. One, there's just a ridiculous number of floaters in the deck. Floater, buoy, get it? There's also a fair number of water monsters in the deck, so water goes with buoy and floater. And I'm clever, aren't I? And Buoy base is just flat out an awesome galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy with, I think, in my opinion, some of the best music in the game. Anyway, moving on from that, here is the monster lineup. Got 3 Gen X controller. This little guy is going to be your main tuner. Searchable from deck to hand by Gen X Undyne, and from deck to field by Gen X Searcher. And mostly you'll be tuning him with Gravekeeper Spy to make Arcanite, or with Cyber Dragon to make a level 8, or with Undyne / Stangan to make a level 6. There's just a lot of things you can do with him. And a lot of people were turned off from this deck because its main tuner is a normal monster, but really this guy doesn't even need to have an effect. The fact that he's so easily accessible with other monsters is good enough. Next up are 3 Gen X Undyne. Yeah, this guy is actually, he's a level 3 Aqua with 1200 attack. I should have mentioned controller is a level 3 tuner with 14 attack. He's dark. There are, I guess, a decent number of dark monsters in this deck, but I really would not recommend using Lure at all. You don't need it between all the monsters that you'll be searching, and you don't want any of these monsters to be removed from play. But Gen X controller says when this card is normal summoned, or Gen X Undyne, excuse me, says when this guy is normal summoned, you send a water monster from your deck to the graveyard to add a Gen X controller from your deck to your hand. Most of the time you'll be sending another copy of Undyne, but I guess you could send the other water monsters, but I usually wouldn't recommend it. You'll see why when I get to those. And a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but the few people I've talked about this have suggested Treeborn Frog for this guy. That could work, but I honestly don't like it because Treeborn would then be the only function, would only serve to be fuel for Undyne, which it isn't that great. I mean, yeah, it is an extra star for synchro summoning, but other than that, it really doesn't have that many uses in here. Next up are 3 Gen X Searcher. He's a level 4 16 Earth Machine. When he's destroyed by battle, you can special summon a 14 or 1500 or lower Gen X from your deck and special summon in face-up attack mode. But as you can see, and like I already said, he has 16 attack, so you can't search another copy of him. And the thing is, Undyne and the other Gen X monster we're going to be using they only get their effects from the normal summon. So pretty much you're only going to be using Search to get out Controller. And it may seem like between Undyne and Searcher and only 3 Controller, obviously, you might be running out of room. Or you might end up with dead Searchers or Undynes, but really with Pot of Avarice, which this deck does run 3 of, it's really not that much of an issue at all. Next up, and the last of the Gen X monsters, are 2 Gen X Power Planter. When you normal summon Soul Guy, he's a level 1 light spellcaster for some reason. I could have sworn he was a machine, but he's got 300 attack and 200 defense. When you normal summon him, you can add a level 3 effect Gen X monster from your deck to your hand. So for now, that's only Gen X Undyne. But again, he's another floater, and he's a floater who grabs a floater who grabs a tuner. Which you can see why this deck is so good, because you'll just have crazy hand and field advantage, card advantage overall. Now for your other tuners you're going to be using, besides the controllers, we're going to use 3 Deep Sea Diva and Reese the Ice Mistress. Reese is a level 2 Water Sea Serpent. She's a tuner and she's a Diva target, and she can't be destroyed by battle by level 4 higher monsters. Overall, just a great card, and anything that uses divas, you can take out your Spine Gilmans now, because we have another tuner we can use. Now these guys, they kind of fuel Undyne, but really they're more for comboing with the other non-tuners, namely Griff Cooper Spy, to get off insane synchro summons, and they are the divas are yet another floater for the deck, and yet more Avarice food. Alright, now for the non-tuners. The main non-tuner you're going to be using are the 3 Griff Cooper Spies. Easily recycled with Avarice, search and their copy themselves out. Another floater. And 2000 defense, so she's a solid wall. And but most importantly, Spy is obviously a spellcaster, so that sets up for Arcanite plays with controller, or Tempest plays possibly with Reese and Diva. But mainly with Reese and Diva, you can go for a Bionic and then Stardust, or just any level 6 then Stardust. So yeah, Spy is definitely key in this deck. One Cyber Dragon, pretty obvious here. You special summon this normal controller for level 8. 2 Trigodia. With your massive number of floaters, you're usually, like, at any given time, you will typically have 4 or 3 to 5 cards in hand. So with Trigodia can get pretty big. You can discard the monsters you search with the Gen X cards to steal another monster. And he's also good for synchroing, copy like a Cyber Dragon or a Spy as far as level goes. Overall, very good card to have. And finally, Sangan. Obviously good synchro food, and searches out the key monsters to the deck. And I'm only looking at 9 minutes here, but since I don't want to start on spell traps and stop halfway through them, I'm just going to cut the video here. But in the next part, we'll look over the spell traps extra deck and maybe get a few tips in. So thanks for watching, guys. Watch the next part.